Love me some Near, Aurora, great projects. Awesome marketplace. If you haven't used it, check it out. And yeah, so gonna bring it over to Robin now. Robin Lin, she is the co-founder of Vetter. It's a platform with a live DApp research tool to sort for 2x to 100x plus gains daily. Vetter is launching 2 launchpads next month, raising integrity and innovating the blockchain space. With that, I will let Robin take us to the moon.
Hey guys. Mic check, check, check. Nice. How you guys doing? Okay, so I know a lot of us are overwhelmed in the crypto space. Vetter platform I'm going to speak to in just a moment. I want to bring our attention, though, into integrating blockchain projects. I'm speaking to both crypto investors, people who are interested in finding new projects to get into, as well as blockchain developers to bring sustainable business models into the crypto space. So beyond launch, so a lot of projects on our platform, we have sometimes 75 projects that launch in a day on our platform that get scouted in our CrowdX calendar. And so it's challenging for most projects to not just launch, but to make it beyond launch. So are they going to make it? That's the question. So there are a lot of big challenges that we face in the crypto space as developers. And some of these challenges are well known to crypto investors. So there's a lot of hesitancy and there's a lot of scams that happen because of the big questions. And of course, when the market moves, when there's a lot of questions with investors, they can tend to dump projects because there's big question marks. So I want to talk for a moment about the big challenges, aside from projects that launch with the intention of dumping their project. So there's a lot of projects on the DeFi space that have the intention of actually not following through on their vision. They launch, they generate funds, and they actually have the intention of leaving their project to do sometimes 20 more projects that they already have lined up. So my background is in journalism, investigative reporting, and when I worked with my business partners on Vetter, my natural ability was to vet developers. So a lot of the developers that I have known before we actually launched our project were sharing with me the things that allowed them to succeed. So I found out really fast how devs were able to make it through the launch and actually succeed and hit sometimes 200x gains. So I interviewed a lot of these developers. And then after the project, I interviewed these developers again because a lot of their projects actually failed. Sometimes they didn't know who I was until after, and so they would share in meetings that they had the intention of leaving their project, and they shared with me that they were about to do 20 more projects. So we learned really fast that there are a lot of intentional projects that don't really want to make it, and so it's really challenging. So with this being said, beyond adaptability, so obviously that's one piece of it, learning how to adapt with the evolution of the DeFi space, as well as blockchain, as well as Web3, which we are merging database with Web3. So if you stick around with Vetter, you'll learn more about that. But many devs we have found try to wing not just the launch, but beyond the launch. They have no idea how to actually build sustainable business models. So many developers often who come to us have the intention of actually succeeding well beyond the initial launch, but they aren't fully prepared to navigate the space. So are you prepared as a developer? And if you're not, it's really easy for investors to know that right away. So as we all know, the blockchain space is multifaceted. And one of the things that I have found in the space of launching Vetter and interviewing hundreds of developers, as well as just launching businesses for the past 18, 19 years. It really comes down to building a team that's trustworthy. So one of the questions we ask is, in the Vetter platform, is the dev team trustworthy? Can we actually answer that question? And if we can't, is this a project we actually want to get into? As well as if they're experienced or not. So the other question of projects, whether we want to get into or not, is, are they going to be able to fill up their pre-sale and hit the hard cap? To have a successful launch. So Vetter had a very successful launch, about a 33x. It was our first blockchain project. We launched multiple businesses over the many years. However, it was our first blockchain project, so we learned very quickly post-launch what we did wrong. And one of the things is making sure that you know how to hit not just the hard cap, but have a successful raise and have enough funding to see your vision through. The proper use of funds and budget, one of the things that a lot of developers we've found is they don't know how to answer that question. I asked them, do you know how you're going to be using the $1 million you just raised? A lot of times they don't have a plan for that, so it's it becomes a little bit of a question mark whether or not you want to get involved with the project. The other question we ask is the business structure and the foundation entity, is it set up right? So a lot of times when developers come to me, I ask them how their foundation or entity is set up. Oftentimes it isn't set up properly, so it often leads to a lack of success in being able to actually have a viable business model. Is it built for long-term growth and scale? So a lot of developers launch projects every single day, and a lot of them, if they have crypto experience or have experience in the crypto space many years, they often don't have a plan to grow and scale, and they don't know how to build teams effectively to be able to actually execute a plan, even if they had one, to have a team on board that understands their vision. Often it's a software development that is interesting to them and interesting to others, but do they actually have that plan for long-term growth and scale? And are they going to be able to execute the marketing strategy? So my experience over 19 years has been in marketing, branding, business development, business partnerships globally, and oftentimes, even if they have a big budget, they don't know how to have the proper marketing strategy. And a lot of it is outsourced, meaning they don't actually know what they're doing. They rely on others rather than having the awareness on the internal team. One of the biggest questions, however, aside from having a trustworthy team, is being experienced in the crypto space and in business. So hand in hand, I often find developers are either experienced in crypto or they're experienced in business. And I have a really quick story for you, that it's not only about having a great vision. We really want to understand if they're experienced, if their team has experience in both the business space and the crypto space. Omar versus the gaming project. So Vetter, we have developers that come on and we promote projects that we want to introduce to our whale group, to our community. Vetter we consider as a whale group. And our group tends to fill up pre-sales if they get a green light, meaning the criteria in the vetting platform meets the standards of efficacy and integrity. So oftentimes we bring projects into Vetter in our Telegram group, and we lead AMAs. And the AMAs are where myself and our team are asking questions to the devs pre-launch, often pre-launch, sometimes post-launch. So most of the questions I ask are pretty hard-hitting because I want to make sure that my community has proper information so that they know whether or not they want to invest or if they're going to come in with a little bit or a lot. So Omar did an AMA with me as well as the gaming project with Vetter. And Omar had business experience. He had a multi-million dollar budget of his own that he put into the project that he was building. In short, within about 30 seconds, under a minute, with a few questions and me looking at his white paper and his tokenomics, I knew things were not right. I asked him 2 questions. I knew immediately that he wasn't going to make it past the launch. And I let my community know that there were certain red flags that I was seeing to be aware of. Not that Omar's a bad guy, not that Omar doesn't have a great vision, because he has a really great vision. He has great experience in the real estate market. And he had a big heart, but he had no crypto experience, and he was being advised by someone who didn't give him the right information. That wasn't really in his core team. So he actually sent me a Telegram message during his launch that he didn't make it. He was confused, wanted our help, and again, that's kind of where the birth of our launch pad, and we're launching 2 launch pads next month. It's kind of like this evolution of Vetter, of where we're able to now help developers in the pre-launch, launch, and post-launch phases of being able to help them bring this integrity, take their vision, know how to execute properly, to have everything they need to be able to properly see their vision through, and give them access to resources that they may not have realized they needed. The gaming project, not as strong of a use case. However, business entities set up properly. They had a huge core team. They even had individuals from the Solana network that was on board. So green light all the way through. Their tokenomics was leading them to CEX exchanges upon launch, and they ended up doing very well. So oftentimes, it's hard to know whether you want to get into a project or not, because there's so many projects launching, as I mentioned. And so Vetter has been solving that solution. We actually do a lot of pre-launch vetting. We want to make sure trustworthy, dedicated team. We inform people on all of this. The tech and software development, I could talk about this for a while. We have about 8 full-time software developers in our in-house team at Vetter, and it's really important to us to build in-house and to keep the integrity of our project. We use database resourcing, so Vetter platform is all about really keeping the integrity of the data and then merging that within the Web3 environment, and being able to keep that secure. Maintaining the integrity of the data is really important. So having someone on your team in-house who understands that, even at least if the majority is being built out of house, if you're outsourcing, to have someone who understands what's going on. Adapting with the innovations obviously is important. The business structure, as I mentioned, as well as the marketing strategy, building community and onboarding support. I've been speaking to people at this event, lovely people, and one of the things that keeps coming up is a lot of developers don't have the skills, the know-how to properly build community, to properly handle the growth and scale after launch. And that's something that my business partner and I have been doing for many, many years, is actually building community, attracting audiences, creating solutions in business and online for onboarding people. Everything we've been doing for many years has been educational, so it made sense when we created Vetter to have it be an educational process. Audience attraction and engagement, so knowing really how to create enthusiasm, excitement, it's really important. Oftentimes we can get lost in our project. We can get kind of inundated with the things that we're doing. And if it's a small team, of course, the trustworthy team, the core team, it's often challenging to then bring in other team members who are on the same vision. It takes time for that. So the time that it takes for that, of course, we don't want to rush into it, but at the same time, we don't want to stall the development. So we need to act quickly. We need to kind of know where we're heading, but also be able to articulate where we're at for proper structure setup, and to be able to have the voice of the community and the message of the community. I call it kind of like a heartbeat. I was speaking to someone earlier about that. If there's no connection, if there's no empathy, oftentimes projects can lose that depth. I believe, as Maslow's hierarchy of needs, we all want a sense of belonging, even if we don't realize it. You know, we all crave community and connection, And rather than getting lost in where the industry is going, we can enjoy it. But how can we bring that community together and engage people to be a part of something that is special and that's unique and that has people, which Vetter community has. It has people feel like they belong, and it has people feel like they have a voice. So that's really important. I need a few more minutes. I hope that's okay. The billion-dollar question is the project developing revenue streams built into the business model? Oftentimes, it's not. And what he said, Mark Cuban, I was watching Shark Tank a couple weeks ago, and I don't know, you may love him or hate him, but I kind of dig him. And he said, I would not be a billionaire. He said this to one of the participants. He said, I would not be a billionaire if I kept on raising money over and over again. He said it's all about developing sustainable revenue streams into the business model. That's what Vetter is doing, and that's what we intend to do with the Launchpad, Skylabs, launching next month. We are actually going to be supporting projects that are launching with us, high-tier projects that meet certain criteria, that have high use cases and solid dev teams. We're going to be supporting them with that process of helping them identify how to actually build revenue streams into their business model within the blockchain environment. So it's really important. Some of us want to be billionaires. Imagine navigating launches with high integrity, quality use cases, and community. We are raising standards in DeFi and Web3 and beyond, so we have some exciting advancements coming, integrating unique databases for projects and developers to be able to utilize that with Web3 for easy integration and security. So, Vetter is really inspired to raise the integrity of DeFi and blockchain. We're really inspired to collaborate with other projects. We have a lot of exciting advancements coming up, and integrity, trust, helping users not get scammed is really important to us. So if you join our community, you'll see that bullying is not allowed. We try to keep the environment open, but we really want to maintain that integrity of the research platform to be able to help people come to a space where they feel like they can actually learn something and get into projects, like I mentioned earlier, that are going to 2x to 100x or more. So when launch, we get asked this question a lot. We don't want to appease the hype, but we want to launch properly. We want to launch right. So Vetter Platform does that, and we are really looking forward to the launchpad of Skylabs so that we can actually help a lot more developers do it right. Again, it's a collaborative model, so we really are inspired to support new projects coming up in the marketplace, as well as supporting projects that have already launched, sometimes raise more funds, use funds properly, being able to hire a marketing agency and know how to utilize the marketing agency, the PR, how do you tell the story, marketing, influencers. There's so many aspects, as well as I shared, the revenue streams are really important. So how Vetter came to be, I don't have much time. I just wanted to share RipFT. This is how it started. My business partner came up with a strategy, recoup investment. So when you get into a project, as soon as you can, take your investment out that you put in, profit. So you want to make sure that you are allowing yourself some space to profit after the project launches. You want to be able to leave in free tokens. So this has been our strategy. It has made a lot of our users a lot of money. Again, we're not financial advisors. This is not financial advice. But we want to be able to utilize this strategy, RipFT, and it has helped a lot of people kind of reduce the overwhelm with the pre-sale, fair launch, IDO process to be able to get into projects and understand how it works. And we have criteria that our scouts and vetters meet to be able to get into projects, again, daily, that can 2x to 100x or more. So 2 launch pads coming up. Skylabs is the main one, high tier. Really excited. CrowdX, though, is the research platform. If you go to vetter.ai, you'll learn about that. It's all crowdsource-based. Everything is community-based. I know I'm over time. I could talk about this for a while here. I'm looking at the Vetter board here. There's 2 30x gains, a 10x gain. You know, every day our community members will share with us the gains that they received, and we also have auditing to maintain the integrity. So after the project launches, there's an auditing process, and we have very high standards for this, to be able to make sure that we maintain what is posted as true, and if it's not, you will know about it. Everything is color-coded for ranking based on the Scout's previous track record and history, so anything in the future, you kind of know how to get into projects based on previous projects that they posted. All of this is inside the database now. This is live, the Vetter platform, CrowdX. It's a full calendar. Purple Scouts, by the way, in January were audited, and 91% of Scouts that were purple actually posted projects that got a 2x or more after launch, after their projects launched. So if you chose a purple Scout, 91% of the time, they were actually posting projects that did a 2x or more after the project they posted launched. So there's so much opportunity here. Skylabs is what we're launching in about a month after I finish these events in Rome and Berlin. IDEO Launchpad and Incubator, it involves guaranteed allocations, top-tier projects. 20% of revenue is going into stakeholders and shareholders. So we want to share the value. We want to inspire people to hold the token and participate and be a part of it, to have an easier process to get into better launches, as well as where we're going to be working with developers, myself and my team, to be able to help them through the process, pre-launch, post-launch, and beyond. And yeah, it's really exciting for us. Again, it's really about integrity, trust, maintaining efficacy of the space, innovating without being caught up in the hype. Our process is really about, I use the word ease. I like to get into projects with ease, so I know that I'm getting in properly. Sometimes people can come in and get out of projects really quickly, but it's really about having integrity, and that's what we do in terms of data integrity. So that's really what Vetter is all about. Again, it's for crypto investors and for blockchain developers. And yeah, I have some business cards with me. Rob and Lynn, we have a booth here. I'll be in Rome as well if you guys are there. Berlin, Vetter.ai is the platform, and you can come check it out. If you go to Vetter.ai, you can actually work with the calendar, and you can see all the projects that are launching. Here I have a screenshot of that. And yeah, Skylabs is launching in about a month, and vSale will launch after that, which will be a great revenue influx for our community, and yeah, to really raise standards in the DeFi space and Web3. So yeah, thanks guys.